Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment. And for those of you that are using the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. Now, as you may see, we were having a little technical difficulties. I know there's a lot of technology issues going on in the air today due to the weather in our area, but we thank you for being tuned in and also for your patience as we get into our broadcast today. But I just want to remind everyone that, first of all, tomorrow, scheduling permitted, her scheduling permitted, our monthly contributor, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, will be here with us right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, to discuss a topic that will enhance our health and our wellness. So I encourage everyone to tune in. I know you have questions for Rebecca, and of course she will be addressing a topic, so we'll be pulling some of your questions. And we just want to make certain that everyone is whole in their body, mind, and spirit. So we are thankful for Becca joining us. BeccaTheDietitian.com, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction, and we are encouraging everyone to tune in every day, Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're here in 3D, but our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, plays music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. And you can find us at WKAPfaith.com. So I'm going to begin addressing communications that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. And as you know, we've been focused on relationships because there's been so much communication about relationships. And I see that not only a theme forming, but I see that everyone wants to discuss relationships. We are really focused on addressing that this week, and throughout the rest of this year, it looks like we're going to be spending a lot of time on that topic, and we're going to be announcing some new things that we're going to be doing right here in our broadcast and on our radio station. So stay tuned, stay connected with us right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, and of course in our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who said there are no good men to build a good relationship. And this is what you said. And you said, what are we as women going to do if we want to be married and have children? So First of all, let me say this. You cannot say, you can, but it's not true. You cannot say there are no good men to build a good relationship. There are good men out there. You have been encountering the wrong men. So let's start there. There are some good men out there. I'm not saying perfect men, because none of us are perfect. What I'm saying is that they're good men. And the first thing you have to do is you have to stop believing that there are no good men. Because as a man or woman think it, so is he or she. So the first thing, your thought process is wrong. You're saying there are no good men. There are. There are just no perfect men. The problem is you have been meeting men who are not necessarily living the standard of a good man. That's the first problem. The second problem is that you're then expecting pardon me, a man to be perfect. None of us are perfect. It doesn't matter if a man is named Jesus, he's not Jesus. It doesn't matter if a man, whatever a man's name may be, he is not Jesus. And so I'm going to ask everyone to bear with me because my allergies give me a problem today. So I'm going to take a drink of Earth's finest water, Fiji water, at FijiWater.com and see if I can eliminate some of the irritation in my throat. What you have to remember, pardon me, first and foremost, is that no one is perfect. No man, woman, or child is perfect. We are all born sinners. We are born to sin. That's just a reality. You know, I'll share. My wife and I were having a conversation about this, and the reality is that if a child, pardon me, we heard a pastor preach this not too long ago at a homegoing service. And the comment he made was, pardon me, that a child will take a cookie from a cookie jar, and if you ask them, did they eat the cookie? They will look into your eyes, and if they feel guilty about it, they will lie to you. They'll look you in your eyes and tell you they didn't eat the cookie. And the reason is because it's a natural instinct to sin. That's why the Bible tells us we have to work out our salvation. So we have to work not to sin. And if you make a conscious decision to sin less, we'll sin less every day. But we're not perfect. So you've got to stop believing in a perfect man, or even searching for a perfect man, even though it's not your job to search. I touched on this during either yesterday or the day before. And I did get some communications from a few people. I'm going to talk about some of those coming up also. But the reality is, it's not the woman's job to search for a man. It's the man's job to search for you. Because he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. But you have to be the right man to know that. And what I mean by the right man is you have to be in the right mind to know that. Which means we have to have a renewing of the mind, because our mind is naturally corrupted. A good man will know how to find a good thing. You just have to make yourself available. But the problem you're having making yourself available is that you are looking for the perfect man. So he has to be everything you want him to be before you can move forward. here's the reality. If you're looking for the perfect man, no man is going to meet that standard. No man. There is going to be a flaw in all of us. And even if it's not a sinful flaw, a continuous sinful flaw, there's going to be a flaw. You may not like the way he combs or brushes his hair. You may not like his eating habits. You may not like the way he dresses. He might wear socks with sandals. All I'm saying is no one is going to meet a perfect standard. What you have to do is meet people where they are and build one another up from there. You know, whatever the habits are, you've got to decide, are those habits that you can accept? And once you've determined that, then you can begin to move forward. A good man is someone who loves God, first and foremost. A good man is someone who has a relationship with God. That is the only type of man who is going to be able to be married and work to sustain a marriage. And what I mean by that is we've got to get over this marriage requires work. It's not a job. Marriage is not a job. It's work to build a great quality of life. But we all should be working to that end. So you've just got to stop believing there's no good men and just find a man who, let me rephrase that, be found by a man, make yourself available to be found by a man who not only believes in God, but has a relationship with the Lord. If you do that, you're going to find that that is a man who you can be married to, and if you desire to have children, which you express that you do, he will be capable of being a father to your children and raising and nurturing and raising your children together. We have gotten so confused about relationships because of what society has taught us about relationships. So it's difficult the older we get to get it right because we've been taught by society there are certain things that are acceptable now. We got to get back to the basics. We got to get back to the basics of man meets woman, man dates woman, man proposes to woman, man gets engaged with woman, man marries woman, woman and man become husband and wife. They then are fruitful, multiply, bear children, and nurture and raise their children together. Real simple stuff. We've complicated it. God never made it that complicated. We made it complicated. Man has messed it up. We've made it a complicated endeavor, and the truth of the matter is we are just doing whatever we want to do because society tells us it's okay. Exercise your free will and the liberty to do whatever you want to do. And most of that involves pleasing our flesh. It's my thing, I'll do what I want to do. Well, no, it's really a God thing. Our lives are a God thing. And we just have to recognize that there is a way to do this the right way, and we just need to do it the right way, do the right thing. And we will have a better society. You will be found by a man who is searching for a wife, someone that can be a mother to his children. And that will happen to you as you believe, so shall it be unto you. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you want to meet a man who is a high earner and enjoy life, travel with your friends, and live a life of leisure. How's that working for you? You know, let's think about what you're saying here. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. Okay? You got to know that high earners generally meet, date, and marry high earners. That's generally the principle because of the environment. Even if you know how, even if you know how, there is a way to meet people who are at a different station in life. And even if you know the way to do that, you have to know that a high earner is not interested in you just enjoying life and traveling with your friends and living a life of leisure. You're not talking about giving birth and raising any children. You're not talking about working in the business. You're not talking about doing anything other than living a life of leisure. That's not productive. And every one of us should be productive in some way. You've got to know that a man who's a high earner is someone who is busy. And if they're busy, they expect you to be busy also, not wasting time. Not just traveling with your friends and not just hanging out, living life leisurely while they're... It would be different if you said, I want to meet someone, marry someone who's a high earner who can take care of the family. You want to have multiple children and stay at home and raise your children. Give him a family unit. That would be a different topic. But that's not what you said. You want to hang out with your friends. You want to travel with your friends. You want to live the life of leisure. You want to go shopping. You want to do what society is telling you is the new trend. Just enjoy life. Well, even if that were to occur for a brief period of time, that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable because we all get older, and then you're taking time away from your earning capacity, from your career, because you want to live the life of leisure. And then what is it that society has taught you about living this life of leisure? How does that enhance the quality of your life long term? You know, it's interesting because one of your comments was you don't want to have children. You want to live this life of leisure, and you don't want to have children because you don't want to mess up your body, and you want to, that all sounds good to you, but it's not reality for you. You've got to really make some real decisions about your quality of life. So right now you're working a job, but you're working a job because you have to eat. But you're interested in meeting a high earner. So you polish up real nice, you dress real nice, you may be attractive, but beauty is fleeting, not going to last forever. And you've got to want something that's sustainable, long term. It can't be that superficial. It's got to be more than that. And if you had said to me in your communication, I want to, as I said, have multiple children. You want to travel, take your children places and show them culture, and you want to build a family life. That's a whole different topic. But that's not what you said. What you said is you want to enjoy life, travel with your friends, and live a life of leisure. Those are the three things that are your priority. That is not going to be enough for a high earner, for someone who's building wealth, or someone who's earning at a high level. There has to be something more. There's got to be more than that. And part of the problem, so now I'm going to get to the basics of this. Part of the problem is all of this that you've described is demonstrating the void in your relationship with the Lord, your lack of relationship with the Lord. Because you're chasing the world. You're chasing after what the world has told you is going to make you feel good for a season. Maybe for several seasons. Maybe for a few years. Eventually, you can't gain the whole world without losing your soul. So eventually, you'll lose parts of yourself. You'll lose parts of your soul because you've made a decision to enjoy the world. And one of the things I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, I don't want anyone saying, Pastor Pope says that we should not enjoy life at all. We should not. Listen, I'm a firm believer that as Christians, we can enjoy life. We can enjoy a great quality of life. That life has to have order and structure, but within that order and structure, there are so many things that we can enjoy doing that don't require us to sacrifice our relationship with the Lord, doesn't require us to do anything out of the norm, out of our normal quality of life. We really need to understand that a life without limits means that we set boundaries so that the world doesn't have access. I need to repeat that. A life without limits means that you set boundaries to prevent the world from entering into your sanctuary, your place of peace. But you don't have to limit yourself to enjoying life. You just have to limit yourself from placing yourself in the world and within the worldly trends, patterns, the things the world wants to do and wants to encourage you to do, so that then you become just like everyone else. the reason the Bible said as Christians, we are a peculiar people, because it means we're different than the rest of the world. In the sense that we're living out the quality of life. We're living for the fullness of God. That requires work, but it also requires rest, relaxation in the Lord. All of what you described has none of that. And so I'm going to say to you, you want to meet a man who is a high earner, you're going about it in the wrong way. Because you've got the wrong state of mind to say, I just want to enjoy life, traveling with my friends, and living a life of leisure. Those are at odds with one another. And that's what you've got to realize. Those two things are at odds with one another. They don't mesh together. They don't walk together in agreement. They're not equally yoked. And so therefore, it's not going to be probable for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish with the wrong state of mind. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything that a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt attire today, and if you order from Charles Tyrwhitt right now, you can receive 3 high-quality cotton shirts for $99. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time at ctshirts.com. And this segment is also brought to you by The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated, you say that you are extremely attractive. You say you do not feel you need to settle for a man who is not extremely handsome and wealthy. Well, once again, here we go. Those two are diametrically opposite of one another. Those do not usually go together. There's exceptions to every rule, but that's generally not the rule. You're not generally going to find someone who's extremely handsome and wealthy simultaneously. You know, you can probably count those on one hand that you've encountered along the way, if that. You might get one, probably not going to get the other. They're diametrically opposite of one another, because people who are what you would call extremely handsome generally are working on that premise, whereas people who are wealthy are working on building wealth. And it doesn't mean that everyone doesn't have their own, their own standard of beauty or level of handsomeness. That's not, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, of the person who's looking. But at the end of the day, we can't be so superficial or so shallow that we can't get beyond one or the other. You gotta pick your poison, and then realize you're gonna have to drink it at some point. but those two are diametrically opposite of one another. I thought it was a really interesting comment, but however, you got to ask yourself, how's that working out for you? Because that's not those don't usually go together. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow, hopefully with our monthly contributor, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian